This is kind of a rant video. I have always been a news junkie. I love the news. As a kid, and I know this is taking dork factor to a whole other level. When I was a kid, for whatever reason, I loved watching CBS News with Walter Cronkite. I did. I don't know why. My mom watched the news every night, so it was on. So I don't know. I just found it either I found Walter Cronkite very interesting or I thought the news stories were, I don't know. I don't know what I really, I love the news. To the point of, here's where the dorkiness comes in. My sister had a little desk that was, we'll just say it's a little desk. We don't need to go into what it was, but it was a little desk. And I used to get the newspaper and cut out where there was lots of words, because when you're real little, before I could read. But I didn't want the pictures. I just wanted the words. So I cut little sheets of paper out that looked like the paper that Walter was holding. And I would sit and watch the news with the paper, and I would repeat some of the stories back. Yeah, that sounds a little crazy when you say it out loud. I'm not ranting about that because that's just weird. It's not rant worthy. It's just weird. With the backstory there, I've watched the news my whole life. I've always been interested in it. I like to know what's going on in the world, so on and so forth. So there were a lot of days where I would put the news on, and I always was, up on things. And even though the 24-hour news channels, after a while you hear the same stories over and over again, I still just kept it on because I liked having, I guess, the noise of it in it. But I found that recently the news has gotten really, really stupid. And I don't mean the news stories. I mean the people covering the news. To the point where I don't watch CNN really anymore. Because the anchors make me crazy because they're stupid. And some of the stories that they choose to focus on drive me absolutely bonkers because it's really not news. The rant is what some of the news, and I'm going to pick on CNN because that's kind of what I know and what I've watched. But I still go to the CNN webpage to read stories, and I can pick and choose the stories I want as opposed to having them thrust upon me whilst watching. And I find that's a little better because I do like to be informed and know what's going on. But some of the stories that they decide to put on the front of the latest news stories, they're some of them, I guess, I don't know. Some of the stories that they choose to put into the top half of the website, the latest news, I guess they're the most current news, or they feel is the most important news, really doesn't fall under news at all, I think. And it kind of pisses me off. One was, and I copied and pasted a bunch of headlines that I thought were either duh moments or just really stupid to be on the top of the news of CNN. The first one was slain girl's family is heartbroken. I think that is a duh moment. What would be news is if slain girl's family is rejoicing her death. That would be news. The fact that they're heartbroken kind of seems natural. I think that's just a given when someone dies unexpectedly, especially a child, and maybe is murdered. I think, well, yeah, of course they're going to be heartbroken. Seriously. The next one is Heidi Klum takes Seal's last name. Is that really news? Is that newsworthy? Really? I've never even heard of Seal's last name. I don't get it. I don't get that makes the news. The next one that I thought was dumb was Khloe Kardashian new husband nesting. Is that news? Is that really news? Honestly. I don't even think that would be news if I cared about Khloe Kardashian, which I don't. Kate Gosselin flaunts new look. Is that news? These people are only famous because the news made them famous. It was a show that nobody really watched, and somebody somewhere decided to make a news story out of, I guess, the breakup or whatever, but really nobody heard of these people until, what's his name was, I don't know, what did he cheat on his wife, left his wife, whatever. And it's really a news generated story. That's really what that is. I think a lot of stories in the news are news generated stories. And when I say news generated, I mean by the media news. They make stories out of nothing. And that is one of them, I think. And then related, John Gosling's new girlfriend. I mean, and these are all over the past, I guess, few months. I've been writing these down, that were in the top 10 stories of CNN. Which, when they put it at the top, you think these are the most important stories. It's not buried in entertainment. These are on the front page. And then Bristol tells Levi to pay up. That's Sarah Palin's daughter. Is that really news? Do we care, really, at this point? I don't even see that being news. I just don't. He fathered a child. If he needs to pay up, he should pay up. But I don't think that's newsworthy. And then these two are from today, which... Okay, Scott Brown to get Kennedy's office space. Well, duh. He's taking his seat in the Senate. Don't you think he should get his office? Are they making his office a shrine that he would have officed somewhere else? Certainly, whoever would take over his spot would get his office. Does that need to be even a news story at all? And Ashton Kutcher hates Valentine's Day. Wow. I didn't even want to click on the story to read what that was about. But I don't care that Ashton Kutcher hates Valentine's Day. I don't even see why that made the news at all. I think the only person that cares that Ashton Kutcher hates Valentine's Day is Demi. Do we even need to know that? I'm sure he's put it on Twitter. These stories are why I don't watch the news anymore. And why I get frustrated even reading it online. It's absolutely... I like to know what's going on, but come on, people. Hey, breaking news. Ashton Kutcher loves weekends. This is my rant about the news.